I should maybe tidy up in here a bit. I'm going to start making videos again. I've been away for a while, which is very like me, but I'd like to get back to this channel and doing more channel-y things, like trying to figure out how to place my ring light so it doesn't show up in my glasses. Anyway, yes, I've been away partly because I have been consumed by doing things related to minor disaster games and Trouble on the Tempest, and partly because I've been training to be a driving instructor, which I now am. I am a driving instructor. I will blur the logos and stuff in that photo, I guess, because I'm not sure, 100% sure that I'm allowed to show them in my social media, and I can't be bothered to check. But whatever the deal, I want to make a quick video to talk through the game design process, or at least part one of that sort of series of videos, because I think it could be interesting, and also it's something that I can just talk about without having to stress too much about planning some kind of elaborate skit or something. The long and short of it is that for years and years and years I've been designing a game. We decided to found a company rather than try and sell the game. We did try a little bit to sell the game to publishers and things, but a lot of that feels like a dead end sometimes. So we decided to found a company and kickstart the game ourselves, which we successfully did earlier this year. I thought I would break down some of the processes that have been going on, might explain a little bit why I kind of got very distracted and then just couldn't find the mental energy to come back to this channel, and just go through a few bits and pieces, and hopefully this will act as kind of an update for all our backers. So we did the Kickstarter campaign. Kickstarter works that if you get your funding, then you have to make the product, but if you don't get your funding, then basically nothing happens. So we had a Kickstarter goal that was kind of our low-end goal for manufacturing. Wouldn't mean we wouldn't make any money, but we'd just be able to manufacture the product and get it out. And then we'd have spare copies of the game that we could sell, quite a lot of spare copies of the game that we could sell. We broke through that goal and got quite a bit more, so we've actually can make twice as many copies of the game as we were originally planning, and send them out to backers, and then have a lot of games left over that we will hopefully be selling at the UK Games Expo next year, as well as other conventions and things, and online and whatever else. We didn't make an insane amount of money, so we can't do this full time still, but we did make a very comfortable amount of money that will allow us to make a lot of product, and also will fund us for at least the next year, all of our endeavours and events, because conventions and marketing and all these things all cost money. So we're in a very comfortable position that we can keep the company going without it bankrupting any of us, which is great. That's a great place to be. We also did the vast majority of our design work before the Kickstarter finished. Now that's not necessarily how our Kickstarter is going to work, particularly for a small independent company. Sometimes they're going to do a lot of that design work on the back end because they need the money to fuel it. They've got to pay for graphic designers and other design elements that need to go into building those prototypes and building all those elements together in order to get the game to a logically finished position. We were in a position where we didn't need to do that. If you want to know more about how the structure of our company is, and then I'm sure I've made other videos on it. If not, I'll cover it at another time. But yeah, we were able to do most of our design work in advance, as well as make prototypes, proper prototypes that could then be displayed and shown at various convention floors to give people an idea of what the game will look like. They're not 100% authentic to what the game will actually look like when it's out product on shelves and being sold, but they gave a very good idea of the final design and the quality of the game, as opposed to a hand-drawn cardboardy kind of version, which a lot of prototypes ultimately have to start as. So once Kickstarter finished, we were able to roll into that manufacturing conversation, talking to manufacturers about getting proper prototypes done, proper final prototypes for us to approve and everything else, and then talking about quantities and shipping and all these things that you kind of aren't really in a position to talk to until you've got the graphics that you can actually send to somebody so that they can do you a quote. We are currently, as I'm recording this, waiting on those final prototypes for all the products. There were a total of 4 products that we're producing. So we're producing the base game, 2 expansions, and then a deluxe version of the game that was exclusive to the Kickstarter. If you didn't back that on the Kickstarter campaign, then I'm afraid you won't be able to get that again. At least we don't have plans to make more of that or be able to make it available again. It was a Kickstarter exclusive. It includes everything from the other 3 things, which will be available to buy once they come out into stores or through the websites and things like that. But yeah, that deluxe version is exclusive to the Kickstarter backers. Anyway, one of each of those should arrive at some point over the next month or two so that we can approve the design, make any tweaks or changes at the last minute that we want to, but ultimately, if it's good to go, then it's good to go, and we can approve manufacturing, and they will start bulk making those over the coming months. And eventually, when the Pledge Manager opens on Hive, you'll be able to add extra copies of the game or the expansions if you didn't get them the first time around. Again, you won't be able to get the deluxe copy because that was a Kickstarter exclusive, but you'll be able to add other things. Again, I'm not going into any details here, I'm just talking about our processes, and also I'm sort of very on the back of this. This is much more Kaylee and Liam's kind of taking care of this side of the company, so I actually can't talk much about it because I'm sort of ignorant. I do try and learn, but I'm just bad at it. But those processes and those conversations are all currently in play. Now, it's not a quick process. It's going to take months and months to get the game actually manufactured. As I say, we keep saying that fingers crossed we will have product by the UK Games Expo, but we cannot 100% guarantee that. It's likely, we've scheduled for it, but again, we just simply cannot with 100% certainty say until we've got the product in our hands in some kind of warehouse somewhere. What I can say is that we're in a position where we can start planning for the next thing. All of this has almost come to a head now. Once we've approved the designs and we've got the Pledge Manager open to collect everyone's delivery details, then pretty much everything's been done. It just needs to wait several months for the game to actually be made en masse, shipped over to where it needs to go, and then hopefully it'll just get out to people without too much hassle. Something that I am actually good at and can actually work on is the next project. Now, I've been making a tabletop simulator version of Trouble on the Tempest, and I'll try and make ones on other platforms. Tabletop Simulator seems to be the easiest one for somebody who doesn't know anything about programming, but I'll try and get some online versions of the game out. But I'm also working on the next designs. We've got a couple of games in the pipeline, a little card game, a little social deduction card game, and another big box, more like a war game, which I'm trying to design at the moment, and I've been playtesting. It's very new, but we really hope that we'll have a playtest version of that to show at the UK Games Expo next year. That would be the ideal scenario. The little card game, the little social deduction card game, is more or less ready to go. It needs a little bit of tweaking here and there, but it's very simple. Similar with Tempest, a lot of the design work can be done up front, so the game is simply ready to go as soon as its campaign or whatever has finished. We can just send it to a manufacturer and get it out there and ready to go, similarly to how we had with Trouble. We don't have to worry too much about the design work on the back end. And that's where we're at. I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to do a little video diary, hopefully part of a new series. I'm going to call this number 1 or part 1 or whatever the hell, of the Game Designer's Diary. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, please post them in the comments below. Anything that's of interest. Good to be back, I guess, on the YouTube. I thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, all the YouTubey things, blah, blah, blah. And also I need to learn how to edit again, so I'm going to go back on my edit suite, which I haven't touched in probably a couple months, and figure out how that works. So this is just for me to get back into the system and get back to working. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in more videos very soon. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, the end. That's my thing, isn't it?